Good morning, fellow traders. This is Doug Campbell with Right Way Options, coming to you with the morning preparation video for January 25th, 2018. So, yesterday we had a little bit of a shock there, didn't we? All of a sudden we had a gap up open. Everything was looking good. Everything was looking fantastic. There was a lot of bullish price action. But then suddenly we started to have a problem. If you take a look at a short-term chart, we can see where that problem occurred. Gap up and run into it, and then all of a sudden it just like we hit a wall. And boy, the sell-off came pretty fast and strong, filling that morning gap. Now, what's interesting about this is we have a market that we have gotten used to that leaves massive gaps behind. It just seems to be common practice right now for these gaps to be being left behind. We leave gaps behind all over the place, and we don't come back around to fill them. They're all through these charts. And we've kind of gotten used to the fact that this market likes to just gap and run. And if you chased into that, you got a good reminder that the market can shift on a dime. And, take it as that. Don't take it as a punishment or anything like that. Take it as a good lesson, a reminder saying that, hey, we have to be on our toes all the time. Being complacent in the market is extremely dangerous. We have to stay focused on price action and be prepared for just about anything. And that's kind of what happened yesterday. There was a lot of complacency, people chasing in to the market, never thinking we're ever going to go down again. That whole idea, that fear of missing out, I've got to rush to jump in. And then suddenly they get punished. So that is, a gap fill is actually the normal of the market. Now, our new normal is we just gap and run and we never look back. But that is normal, and we could be seeing a little bit of a shift back to a little bit more of a normal price action, a little bit more concern on the bear side, trying to push us back down from time to time. So keep that in mind as you plan and go forward. You got to stay on your toes. You got to be prepared. And the last thing you want to do is be complacent. So having said that, did any damage get done to the market yesterday? Really no, none at all. And the market has stayed very, very strong. And as you can see, we're expecting a gap up morning again this morning. Not quite up to where we were yesterday at the high, but very, very close. And that's on the back of good earnings. Caterpillar just reported this morning stronger than expected earnings, much stronger than expected earnings. And the market is responding to those good earnings, and we have a lot of earnings coming out today. Over 160 companies reporting earnings, and they spread across all industries. You get your industrials here with Caterpillar. There's tech today with Intel. Lots of things going on the earnings front. So if companies continue to produce earnings justifying these high prices, all should be copacetic, and we could still go higher. If they falter in any way, we could expect the market to get a quick reaction the other direction. So right now, Dow futures are pointing to a 100-point gap up open. Everybody is really happy. Bulls are still in play. Doesn't seem to be anything right now that wants to take this market down. If we take a look at the SPY left behind a candle that just a little bit of indecision, but let's keep in mind that trend is still intact. Nothing broke down here. Nothing really changed. Gap up this morning looks solid here in the SPY. So kind of keep that in mind as we move forward. The Qs, The Q's left behind a bearish engulfing candle at a top. Now that is a concern, but let's notice how we bounced right off of support. The trend held up, price action held up, the bulls stepped back in, and now we're gapping up this morning. In fact, we're gapping up strongly here in the SPY, gapping up substantially, more than half of this bearish engulfing candle. So remember, any candlestick pattern requires a follow through, and that one-day candle bearish engulfing, to confirm bearishness or a possible break of this trend, we need a follow through to the downside. Doesn't look like that's going to happen today. As a matter of fact, it looks like the Qs are going to hold up really, really strongly. Let's take a quick peek at IWM. IWM also producing a bearish engulfing candle, but once again, no follow through. Looks like is going to occur first thing this morning anyway, with a gap up open. Could we sell into this gap up open? We absolutely can, so you want to stay on your toes. A clue to the fact of what was happening yesterday was found in the VIX. While the market was rallying strongly in the morning, the VIX started to increase. The VIX started to move higher, and I posted in the trading room to be careful, be very careful, that there were some clues suggesting a little trouble ahead. And I didn't know we were going to get the sell-off we did, just that there were some clues that there might be some danger here. So this is one, and that's showing, you know, just a little bit of rally, a willingness here in the NASDAQ. If I were to draw a line across here, a willingness to try and hold on to a support level, you know, across in this area. So just a willingness to try and hold. Will that continue today? I have no idea whatsoever. Just that the possibility does exist, so kind of keep an eye on that. If we look at T2122, there was also a clue in T2122, and that was when we had gapped way up. We were way up here on T2122, and that sell-off brought us right back down, giving us more room for the upside. But just know, we were poking up there really, really hard, and it was giving me just a little bit of uncomfortableness in chasing the market long. In fact, I started taking profits yesterday as a result, and it actually worked out very, very well for me to take profits and lowering my risk in the market, just really right before the market started to really sell off. So keep that in mind. Stay focused on your price action. Don't get complacent in your trading. Let's take a quick look here at the economic calendar. The economic calendar this morning, we have a couple things that can move the market around. We have the jobless claims at 8:30. They're expecting that number to stay very, very strong, historically low numbers, what they call, you know, full employment. And new home sales are expected to come in with a really solid number today. And as those housing numbers, you know, folks are just out there buying like crazy in housing, it would appear. Everything else is probably a non-market moving report today. Some bond announcements, things like that in here. So nothing other than those two reports to really concern yourself much with. Again, on the earnings calendar, over 160 companies reporting today. And that means there could be an increased chance of volatility. We have to stay focused in a market like this. And as these reports come out, it can move the market back and forth rather violently. So stay focused to those reports. I don't think too many people are expecting bad reporting out of this earnings season, but it's always possible. And it's always possible that even though we get a good earnings report, the company may come out in the conference call and say, okay, we did great last quarter. We're not expecting next quarter to be so good. And the stocks still fall. So we have to stay on our toes around earnings season, expect a little bit more volatility. And this is our first really big day in earnings this quarter. So kind of keep that in mind as we move forward. It's only going to ramp up from here for the next couple of weeks. Big numbers of earnings reports rolling out. So kind of keep that in mind as you plan forward. Just expect a little more volatility. Need to stay on your toes. Need to be focused on that price action. Hey guys, thank you very much for watching these videos and passing them around. I really do appreciate it. You guys, honestly, you're the best. I really do. Your kind comments, always appreciated. They're very humbling, and I do appreciate that a ton. Please do me a favor, click that subscribe button on YouTube, the follow me button on Facebook, and, you know, drop me a comment, click those share buttons, and feel free to pass this video on to any friends and family that you might think would find it helpful. Everyone take care, have a fabulous day. I'll wish you all great profits, and I will talk to you all very early tomorrow morning, Friday. We'll talk to you soon.